I gotta get me a bag, steady type of cash on my bro on that same shit. No, I don't fuck with no lame bitch. Can't even fuck on the same shit. I heard your shit in the swag. That shit is so sad, put in work at that basement. I charge you double that payment.
Yo, what is up, my mortals? It is your Royal Deity Nexus here with my first video on the channel. Alright, as y'all can see, today's what if is going to be what if Deku got one for all earlier. So I'm using this as my first what if because I don't want to do anything too extravagant yet. Specifically due to the fact that this is only the first video on the channel, so I don't want to go too crazy off the bat. And I want to start off with something that I could actually get into and could actually make sense easy. So if y'all do end up liking this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, since y'all are new, obviously, since this is the first official what if. So yeah, subscribe. Let's get this channel to at least 500 subs by, let's say, March. It's possible because the way both of our channels combined, me and Prince's, are easily able to get that at least. So come on, just like, subscribe, check out the link in the description, join the Discord so y'all can get caught up with all of our content, so y'all could actually have contact with us too. We have some debate VC, so if y'all wanted to get into some clean debates about any kind of anime that y'all are into, come check that out. But with all of that said and done, let's get into the video. So where we're going to start this what if off is when Deku's 4. He goes to the quirk doctor. He figures out that he doesn't have a quirk, but in this timeline, he doesn't really care too much about it. He feels that he can, even if he can't technically have a quirk, he can still become strong enough to become a hero. He just feels like, what's the point of literally trying to get this bent over shape if you don't have something, when you could still do something to either get close enough to what you wanted. So what he does from then on is he starts training, and Inko's so surprised. She was thinking that Deku was gonna be broken over this because she knows that his dream is to become a hero like All Might, someone that Deku admires, adores. So she was completely surprised about this, and what would end up happening is Deku would literally ask Inko to start enrolling him into martial arts classes. She would obviously do this, and it might cost a lot of money, but she would start doing little extra jobs, and she would actually get a job working for some actual rich people. I'm not going to say who because it doesn't really matter too much. It's just going to be like a random rich family that lives in the area. Not going to be like Momo's family or anything like that. She would get a job working for these people, and she would actually do very well here. She would start getting paid quite a bit, so Inko and Deku would move out of that little apartment that they had into a big, nice house where Deku could actually train to his heart's content. She would start giving him all of the best trainers, giving him all of the best tutors for his intelligence, because she made one deal with Deku. No matter what, it doesn't matter how strong you are, as if you're not smart enough to figure out how to use the strength that you have. So that's exactly what Deku would do. He would train his body almost every single day, trying to get it to peak human strength, because that is his goal, to get as strong as he can, so he can enroll into UA and still become a hero. And he is taking all of these martial arts classes seriously, and he's actually getting pretty good at every single one of them. Along with the fact that when he went to school the day after that, he figured out he didn't have a quirk. Bakugo tried to try making fun of Deku because he didn't have a quirk and Deku wasn't having it. And I mean, he wasn't having any of it. They would literally have gotten into a fight, and then since Deku hadn't started any of his martial arts lessons at that point yet, he would have lost this fight, obviously, because Bakugo did have a quirk. But but Deku would still never give up. Bakugo could try humiliating Deku. He could try pissing him off, doing all this dumb things, but Deku would never be taking any of it. He would always fight back, and over the years, Deku would actually start winning some of these fights because the specific style of martial arts that he's practicing he's practicing every single kind of martial arts, because Inko has the kind of money to have him practice all the different styles, and Deku is actually making his own style. I'll actually let y'all choose the name of this because I think it would be kind of fun for y'all to interact in this with it. So y'all choose the name of this martial arts. Deku's literally the creator of this kind of martial arts, since he wants to use something that kind of has it where people don't quite literally, no matter what kind of quirk you have, it's a technical counter to most quirks. It you might not, it's like literally like not having a quirk, but you could still do things that people with quirks aren't going to be expecting. And at this point he's still doing weight training, and we're just going to do a little time skip to around like when he's 10, and he's starting to do weight training since he knows puberty's hitting soon, so he wants to at least get as muscular as he can. He's not like looking for that big gigantic muscular body, but he's at least just trying to look fit, look healthy. By the time that he's 12, he'll be looking like how he did after the 10-month training. And I'm just saying that because it's gonna take a little longer since he's a little younger, so he won't be looking exactly like how he will look at that point in time in the same amount of 10-month period. But yeah, once he hit 10, him and Bakugo would always be fighting, and they would always be getting in trouble. But Inko wasn't ever too mad about Deku getting into this kind of trouble because she knew that Bakugo was always trying to bring Deku down, and Deku was never having it. And at this point, Deku is very good at the martial arts that he's created. He's managed to mix every martial arts that he's learned into an actual working style where he uses his flexibility, his like just technical unique way of fighting, into using both of his arms and legs equally, so it could literally catch anyone off guard. He's learned every kind of fighting move that there is, and he's completely agile. He's worked on his flexibility, his dexterity, his mobility, and he can quite literally do almost anything that most people with quirks can, like to a specific level. Like if he did the throwing test right now, he could throw it around 400 meters without any problem. And if he's going all out, he was maybe getting to 500. And yes, he's only 10. That's just because for some reason his just muscular attributes just seem to work like that. And I'm just saying that because why not? I'm gonna have him technically be this strong for no reason anyways. But yeah. And the thing is, he loves working on so many different things at once and trying to figure out everything because how smart he is. So if he learning a new martial arts, he'll break everything down about this thing, and so he could rebuild it up into something that he could use for himself, which is the main reason he's so good in learning any of these martial arts in the first place. So yeah, we get to the point where it's around the last day of middle school. Deku and Bakugo were still fighting. They, at this point, grown up enough since they're around 14 at this point, and it's been 4 years. It's been through all of this time. It's been 10 years that they've been fighting, and at this point, Bakugo respects Deku enough because Deku's beat him countless times, and Bakugo hasn't won a fight in over 4 years since Deku was 10. And Bakugo at this point can at least understand that Deku might not have a quirk, but his willpower specifically is just strong and literally dominates over Bakugo's. And Bakugo understands that Deku is something to be reckoned with. He understands that now, after all of the times that Deku has beaten him. And Bakugo always wants to try getting his rematch, but at this point they have an understanding. We leave each other alone, we're good. They're not friends, but they can at least deal with each other now. It's like when they were younger, yeah, they were just getting all this energy out. They just couldn't stand each other. They were technically like cousins, because Mitsuki and Inko still are friends, but they understand that their kids hate each other, so they don't really deal with too much about their kids around each other. They'll still hang out anytime they way, but they're technically acting like cousins. They'll hate each other as much as they want, but after a while, they're just kind of mutual respect towards each other, that they don't really bother trying to deal with each other at this much. So yeah, we get to the last day of middle school. The teacher comes in saying, with all that paperwork, throws it away, throws it all down, and he just says, "I know y'all all want to be heroes," and everyone starts getting riled up like usual. As he would say, "But I do know at least two of you want to go to UA." As he would say, Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya. As no one would even say anything because they all know Deku, even without having a quirk, is extremely powerful. He's at least strong enough to deal with everyone in their class individually, and he can deal with most of them together because most of the quirks aren't even that strong anyways. And most of the quirks don't even give them any kind of strength enhancements besides Bakugo and maybe one or two other kids. But they all understand that Deku is pretty strong. And at this point, his body, he's around 6 foot. He's taller since all the working out that he's done has kind of changed his body a little bit. So he was a little taller. He's around 6 foot. He's actually been able to start maybe growing some kind of a beard. He might be 15, but like let's be honest, what 15-year-old at this point, you know, at least one 15-year-old that's starting to grow a beard. It's not like a full-grown one, but it's still something growing there. His hair's longer. I'm just gonna say it's around to right above his right under his face. So he usually like it's technically like closer to his shoulders actually. I'm just saying that because he just liked the look of long hair at a point, and he just started liking to maintain his hair as a technical discipline, and he takes very good care of his hair. And at this point, All Might's no longer really Deku's favorite hero. He still respects him and still thinks of him as an amazing hero. But at this point, his ideology is more something like Stain's. Not to the extent that he's willing to kill the heroes just because they act how they act, but to the point that he understands not every hero is in it for a good reason, which Deku and Bakugo would be. So but he knows that he can't really do anything about those kind of heroes. All he can do is become one himself and set a good example to people like All Might has through all of these years. And if you can, try finding a way to get all of these heroes out so only the good heroes still remain. He knows it's almost impossible to do it in the first place, but he really hopes that can be what he does. He would go home, Bakugo and him would just literally high five each other since they're cool. So they would high five, just dip out, going in each other's separate ways, and Deku would run into the sludge villain. The sludge villain would just look at Deku's body and see that this kid is in amazing shape, and he would really just start going, "Kid, I'm gonna need to take your body from you. I have someone on me." And Deku's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." Deku would just start using his agility to move out of the sludge villain's way, and this is actually when the thing went off. If y'all liked it, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Adios, mortals.